Phew. This week has been just chaos. Oh, Ruby was summoned. Okay. No effect whatsoever. Kazap. Yowza. This week it's just been chaos. Chaos, chaos. Oh, is that a healing pool? I see it on the map. Oh, there it is. Perfect. I didn't have to use my trees. Ay, ay, ay. It's been just a roller coaster of a year. No, 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 no. Look, we're on level 12, too. So, we're gonna hit the boss, like, instantly, and I'm very excited to do that. I remember her being extremely difficult, and I remember hiding behind posts a lot. Also, I have an anti-freeze amulet somewhere. That would be helpful, because she's crazy. But yeah, wow. I just got off the phone. I keep busy. Inky keeps highly busy. I have a web development business that I'm just starting. I have one client. And I've been waiting all week to talk to him about some changes that I'm doing, and I'm not a phone person. But if you're doing anything like a business, you just kind of have to deal with talking on the phone with people. And man, it used to just make my skin crawl to even think about talking on the phone. But yeah, you know how you get good at talking on the phone or doing anything you're anxious about? Because I'm a pretty anxious person. Like, I'm not diagnosed or anything, but I feel like I could be. You know, it's pretty bad. But I don't know. I think I'm really, really good at masking. I've gotten good. And the way that I've gotten good is jobs, mostly. Not having a choice not to have a job at all. I can't imagine being able to choose not to have a job because I live in the US and there's no way that, like, working a full-time job, working multiple full-time jobs is not really even enough to survive. So I don't know how anybody could survive off of what pittance you would get for a disability. You know what I mean? Because it's based off your previous job, I think. So I don't know how you could, like, live off of that. It doesn't seem possible. So yeah, so I never even really tried, and I've made myself get good at masking, I guess. I wouldn't say I've gotten better in any way, but I've gotten good at seeming like I'm normal. So, but yeah, so I've just been really anxious. Like, I needed to make this call, and I needed to talk to him. I had all good news for him. All good news that I'm really excited about, but it's just, you know, talking to people and just communicating ideas is so difficult. So it's finally done. Oh, it's finally done. And I can relax. That was everything I needed to do. I had to write a document this week for onboarding a freelance employer for my web business. So that's going to take a lot of stress off of me. I basically, at one point, had 3 jobs. These guys are definitely mimics. Oh, man. Last year, I had basically 3 jobs. 2 of them full-time jobs at companies. All of them web development. And the third was my single client. And man, his website was just a lot of different devs worked on it, and I just want to get to the next floor. A lot of different devs worked on it, and nobody really like cared. You know what I mean? Like, if you have an old website, I don't know if you've ever been on the internet before, but old websites, they don't work well. They're slow and they look bad, and sometimes they don't work on mobile phones at all. So this guy he had an older site, not like a 1990s kind of old site. Not that bad. But it had passed through a lot of hands that really obviously didn't care about it and just considered him like another number going into their bank account. You know what I mean? Like, people have different perspectives on business than I do, on business. Like, my perspective is your success is my success. So, like it's a teamwork kind of a thing. And, yeah, and I take it really seriously to treat everybody that works for me and everybody that I work with like a lot of dignity. Let me clear my bag. It's like a lot of dignity and respect, basically. Yes! It turns out carrots are pretty much the best item in the whole game. In case you didn't know, you gotta take them to Peanut Lake in Matataki Village. And there's gonna be one of these fish in the entire lake every time you start fishing. And sometimes you'll need to like start and then exit and start and exit until you can find the one fish that's interested in that carrot. And it's called Umadakara, something along those lines. It has Uma in it, which means horse, and basically it's a horse. It's a horse fish. It's very silly looking, but it's worth like 88 points apiece. So they're really good, and they usually don't eat the bait too. So like once you get a carrot, you just like instantly get 88 fish points, which is amazing. So yeah. I love the way this character looks, but she's freaking crazy. So, yeah. I don't know what I was talking about. I was just talking about my business and just kind of ranting. Yeah, so I had to make a document. I love making documents. I live for documents. Documents are my true calling. Organization is my true calling. So, yeah, I was kind of the hands-on go-to dev for like a while, and now I'm trying to step back and be like the organizer. Wow, that was a really close miss. And kind of step into more of a managerial role, because I think I excel at that. Keeping people moralized, keeping on top of like what people need, and communicating with everyone, you know, what's going on, what needs to go on, you know, what the expectations are, and organizing information and making kind of battle plans. And that's kind of like, oh my gosh, I just ate that cannon. Jeez Louise. Yeah, that's kind of like my organization, and I like being the generalist. You know what I mean? Like I can step in and do all the work, because I think it's important that if you're in a leadership role, you need to know, like, fairly good what's going on and what the work entails. Because if you don't, you're just making arbitrary decisions on something that you don't understand, and it's a waste of everyone's time. Wait, let me get to the next level. Oh, we're gonna destroy 3 levels. Oh my gosh, Prajna. Good grief. Whew. Sam. Oh my gosh. We're just being swarmed instantly. Okay, so, yeah, wow. From, like, the American Western perspective, it's like management doesn't make sense to me. And it's because it's like the way we do things, the role of management is to make decisions. But these people, like, they don't do any work. And they never have done any work. So from my perspective, they can't make decisions because they don't know what the work is. This thing is so freaky and hard to hit. Yeah, how can you actually make a decision on anything when you don't... How can you make a decision on work when you don't work? You know, it's not. And these people who are managers, their work consists of, like, shuffling around titles and updating the organization structure and finding ways to eliminate more workers so the managers can have more pay. And that is the problem with the economy in a nutshell. Okay, it's a lot more complicated than that, but that's my personal gripe is too many managers and not enough workers, and not enough good treatment of workers, which means not enough good treatment of clients, because it's the workers who are interacting with the clients. So yeah, so that's my take anyway. Yeah, so I want to be like, I want to step into more of a managerial role, but like a prickly, yay, fishing bait. But from the more old-fashioned perspective of like, I've done the work, or at least I've like worked on the work. I understand the work. I've looked into it. I've tried it. I'm in close communication every day with everyone who does the work. And so, you know, I'm not up there just like changing people's titles, you know what I mean, or trying to find reasons to pay them less. I'm like there directing the work. So that's what I call myself on the Pantomime website. I don't really mean that in like an arrogant sense, like a movie director or something. I mean that like I'm actively organizing and directing what needs to be done at all times. I'm like on top of people's needs and actively involved. But yeah, I think if people say like you're the publisher, they just assume you're just like sitting back and not doing anything, which, I mean, fair, because that's how it is for most people. But I swear it's not me. I'm one of the good ones. No, but yeah, this week was really stressful. I thought Pantomime we'd have our game out this week. At the beginning of April, like April 1st, right? Well, April's Fool, so we didn't quite make that goal. One sec. And mostly, I think it's because we have a devotion to quality. You know what I mean? Like, we could have pushed it out the door and said this is done, and you know, it would have been a good game. But we want to make it a great game. So it's still always going to be our first game, and it's always going to be a small game until we update it. We're eventually going to update it. We fully have plans to do that, but we have to get it out the door and call it done and move on to our next project, so we can keep learning as a company and get better at making games. You know, you can't spend 10 years on one game. Obviously, a lot of people do. There's one more area to go, and we're outie. But yeah, we want to keep growing, so we have to finish this project and keep moving. So we thought we'd have it done right at the beginning of this week, but I think I'm gonna give it another 2 weeks, pretty much. A bomb? Are you kidding me? Yeah, so I'm gonna give it 2 more weeks. Just for polish, pretty much. We're trying to put in a couple of cutscenes, and we're just going through a few more, like, pieces of feedback, and, of course, just bug hunting, and, yeah, we want it to be as good as possible, so, even though it is going to be a small game, so, you know, your first is your worst, but I'm feeling really good about this as the first. Wow, that was the last thing I got. Okay, we just went through like 3 levels, I think. So anyway, let's call that quits then. Thank you for listening to me rant about and detox about work. I don't know if any of that was coherent, but if you have any questions about either of my businesses, the web development or video game development, yeah, leave a comment. And if you're enjoying this, definitely leave a like. And yeah, check out my recent community thingies, because I'm kind of asking about, you know, what to post and how I should be doing things with this YouTubes. So yeah, anyway, have a great week and bye!